If you're training hard, it's going to take a toll on your body, and you need to train legitimately hard to make changes in your body. So over time, you're going to notice that you're going to get tired, you're going to get fatigued, and you're probably going to need a little bit of rest. To be clear, you shouldn't be training as much as possible and as hard as you possibly can each and every session, and each and every week and each and every month to make progress. There does need to be some, I guess, logical approach to your training where you're not just training to failure on everything all the time, doing as much as humanly possible, because that's not going to work out. That's a quick way to burn yourself out, and it's not really necessary. You can train close to failure and get just as good of results and probably better results than if you were, running yourself into the ground and training to failure on every exercise that you do. But you do need to assert yourself and make each exercise that you do and each training session that you do feel hard. Training needs to be hard so that you force your body to build muscle, build strength, adapt to what you're doing, and grow. If you're not challenging your body, if you're not doing things that are hard in the gym, well, then your body's not going to really have anything that it feels like it needs to adapt to. That's the whole point of it. In order to create adaptations from strength training, from lifting weights, like building muscle and building strength, you need to give your body a stimulus that forces it to grow. You need to go into the gym, train hard enough that your body says like, oh, wow, that was difficult. And if we're going to do this again, I need to adapt in order to be able to handle it better the next time we do this. So you can't just go through the motions, lift weights, pick them up, put them down, and not really experience any type of challenge, because if you do that, you're not going to cause any type of growth at all. But if you're regularly taking your sets to within a few reps of failure, which that is what I recommend to everybody, in all of your sets, you should be lifting within a few reps of failure, and lifting with adequate training volume, you'll be taking care of a lot of the necessary items for muscle growth. So here are a few quick recommendations, quick guidelines that I think, if you want to grow muscle, if you want to build strength, if you want to make some type of change with your body through strength training, these are some guidelines that you can use right now that will probably help you a ton. So we've mentioned intensity here already. Lift with adequate intensity. What that means is take your sets, each and every set. And let's be clear, I don't mean warm-up sets, but I do mean like, okay, you warm up and you get to whatever that weight is that you're going to be lifting for 3 or 4 sets of 8 to 12, whatever it ends up being. We're not talking warm-up sets, but those working sets. Take each and every one of those within 1 to 4 reps of failure, each and every one of them. For sets, so for training volume, you should be doing somewhere between 10 to 20 sets per week. Make them hard, right? Make all those sets go within 1 to 4 reps of failure, and do somewhere between 10 to 20 of those sets per muscle group each week, okay? And if you're less experienced, you should be on the low end of that. If you're more experienced, you can potentially be on the higher end of that if you need it. It's really, kind of gets person specific, but a lot of the research that's out there suggests if you're in that 10 to 20 range, for the vast majority of people, that's what's going to work best. And then focus on progressive overload over time. Progressive overload means you're increasing some type of variable session to session. So this could be adding some sets to different exercises, adding even just 1 rep to an exercise as compared to the previous week. That is progressive overload. That is a performance improvement. Or adding weight. I think that's the most common one people understand is like, yeah, if I'm adding weight to the exercises I'm doing, that's progressively overloading me over time because I'm loading more and more weight to the exercise. So those are important guidelines. And like I said, that's information that I think is really going to help you. First and foremost, make sure what you're doing in the gym is going to create the change in your body that you want. Because, if you're not training hard enough, then we're missing the first piece of the puzzle.